Riots erupt in Louisville. Of course.
This is CNN.
Welcome to CNN Asia, where we tell you the fake news before it happens. Kentucky Attorney General has announced that the state will not be prosecuting the officers involved in the Breonna Taylor incident, wherein the officers had a warrant, a no-knock warrant that Rand Paul has tried to abolish since then. They entered into the apartment, were shot at, returned fire, and killed the wrong individual. As the officers in question followed legal procedure, the state will not proceed in the prosecution. Riots immediately erupted in Louisville, Kentucky over what they considered to be bad news, attempting to persuade law officers into prosecution as they did in the Jake Gardner case, which took place in Nebraska, causing him to kill himself. Here you see the persuasion techniques of Black Lives Matter and Antifa as they destroy city blocks. Here you see Starbucks being smashed in, Antifa smashing in windows, people demanding that others raise their fists in solidarity with their corrupt movement. Yes, this is very convincing. Of course, you've got the traditional arson that Black Lives Matter and Antifa are so famous for setting. You have the destruction of public property. You have the demonization of all white people. Here you can see the remnants of Louisville, Kentucky, this city block completely destroyed. Here you can see the car lots being burnt to the ground. Common standard practice among Black Lives Matter. There should be no real excitement when reporting on this because it's just their modus operandi. Congratulations, you followed through with the plan. You are destroying America, yada, yada, yada. Of course, Louisville, Kentucky will have to be bailed out by the taxpayers and the millions and millions of dollars to local businesses who are already struggling due to COVID, having their windows bashed in over something that they did not do. But this is completely righteous on the part of the protesters. Despite the fact that other media narrative will try to frame them as riots, believe me when I tell you that these are mostly peaceful. These are entirely peaceful protesters, and they are beset upon by the injustices of all. There are people out there that support the narrative of racial equality as defined by the absolutely preposterous dream of Martin Luther King, who said, "Judge me not by the color of my skin, but rather by the content of my character."
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Clearly, we should judge people by the color of their skin, because if we were to judge these people by the content of their character, they might come up lacking, which is why we now must elevate skin color to make up for mental deficiencies in the protesters. And once again, these protests were 93% peaceful. As Louisville is burnt to a cinder, as the buildings collapse onto the ground and business owners cry and rioters, peaceful protesters, celebrate their daring, bold actions that are given sponsorship by Democratic politicians, Louisville's in shambles, and taxpayers are going to pay out millions and millions of dollars in order to potentially fix the city. And what a shame, because why don't they just throw justice out the window and just prosecute these officers, preferably string them up instantaneously for following through with the law and attempting to do their jobs, because this is the wish of Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and we should all bow to their wishes. No justice, no peace is certainly the cause of Black Lives Matter. Of course, there will never be any justice, but I wish you peace out there anyways. Please remember that the Asian Bureau here of CNN brought you the story first. As we stay well ahead of the news, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share the video with friends. Signing off, this is Richard Freedom for CNN.